I mean, I can see how, like, let's say you can date a certain type of woman. Like most of us are not trying to get supermodels. That's like not even on our radar. If one fell in our lap, we're like, all right, cool. But unless you were able to get to that type of money and status and everything, that's not what you're dating, right? Most of us are not going to try to date multiple women at once. But if you get to a level of success, then you might start throwing that into your conversations because now you feel like you have the leverage and the ability to be able to do it.
People can
I
afford
want
to
y'all to
be.
look at this from the angle of where it's like, all right, so let's say, like, if we were going to use the Diddy example, do you think if he didn't get rich that he would still think about that, or do you think that he may have exhausted so many different types of scenarios that it developed into something that was just one great perversion?
I think that so it is a two-part answer, right? I think that some people wealth and success is determined by their sexual desires. So like if someone was not they had no access to women, that would drive them to become more successful. So it would push them into a position where they could have those that access. Likely, if they have a specific pervert, like a specific kink, that would even drive them further, so that they can achieve the something probably can only be achieved with power, right? So they can get the power to be able to, to get whatever that urge that they have, like them Epstein people and shit. They try and get to certain levels so that they can operate in that way. I think with Diddy, I think he probably is in a scenario where, well, he was in a scenario where he experienced so much that regular sex and regular stuff started to become like just it no longer did it. It no longer like would get him off. It no longer like excited him. He was having sex with beautiful women night and day, as many as he wanted. And he kept probably trying to push the envelope, and he got himself in a scary position. Um, he should have just like fasted and stopped messing with anybody for a minute so he could reset and then go back to enjoying regular women. But yeah, I think that was a result of him just having too much of everything he wanted. And then after a while, he probably got burnt out and then he wanted to try something new. And
And why?
I don't think that's true though. Did he?
I think it
Did
might
he
be.
specifically? I
Go ahead.
think he's always been a freak. I think he was raised by someone who was also because his mother's involvement gave some interesting insight to how he grew up, right? The whole like Cassie has this whole thing about what something that the mom had made her do that was sexually awkward, and so it kind of gave like was he raised like this? And unfortunately I think money allowed him to expand. I think R. Kelly might be the instance of so another person who always had some perverse thing.
So I was
And
going to throw this in there. So when you said that, it made me think of one last part of the scenario, right? R. Kelly R. Kelly admitted, or it was like I guess they did it in the documentary. They was talking about how he was abused as a child by his sister or whatever. Diddy didn't have a widespread accusation, but I remember that there was a priest at the high school that did it. Like it was like a major thing going on. I think it was at a boarding school or something, and they never talked about. Right? So a lot of like those type of kids can come from sexual abuse. So I think that may have also contributed to it. But I still hold the position that he started off one way and then got bored too, including that perversion that he might have been fighting or whatever. That's my position. That's my theory.
I don't know, because Diddy's perversion went way left, involving other men, not just women. So
Yeah, I think it's just like your taste, the same way that your like culinary taste change when you make more money. You start eating better places. You get exposed to new food, and you travel. You get to see new things. I think it's the same thing with money. Like, oh, okay, well, I can afford to have these women let me do these things to them now, and or even in those circles you meet women who just like organically do it. Like I think it's just it's more revealing than anything else because it's like a guy who likes cars. At some point, he's driven all the cars he can, so he has to find something else. So he goes to motorcycles. He gets tired of motorcycles, so you can afford them all, do all that shit. So now he wants to learn how to fly. Same thing.
So I guess that means you're more leaning towards like the actual success changing it, because he probably never would have developed into that type of person in the first place.
Would have never thought about flying if he hadn't been driving cars that go 230 miles an hour for the past 10 years of his life. Like there's no more excitement there. So he has to, when you're chasing that dragon, you got to keep elevating. So he went from cars to motorcycles, and then it's a plane. It's a natural progression.
So he went from regular women to celebrity women to men.
No, he was with men before that. There are people.
Oh, he was with men before that.
He was assumed to have been with men. You remember Wendy Williams been saying that he was.
I don't know. I'm never gonna put being gay on the dude
in the 90s.
Yeah, unless I got some hard evidence, I really don't.
So I'm not gonna put that on his jacket.
Unless I know, because that's a tough one.
I do know what the average net worth of everyone who went to Epstein's Island was, so I would just I can see it.
Okay, so that's another one. In those cases, right? The depravity is cannibalism and all types of crazy stuff. Do you think that's a result of rich changing you, or they were
power dynamic?
Yeah, that's a power dynamic. That's people getting money and knowing that they have power over you and exercising that. Simple.
You say Ellen was going crazy at the human body part buffet.
Oh.
Can I get a five?
So that's what. So then, do you think that it's the same thing as far as what? I mean, I can see how, like, let's say you can date a certain type of woman. Like most of us are not trying to get supermodels. That's like not even on our radar. If one fell in our lap, we're like, all right, cool. But unless you were able to get to that type of money and status and everything, that's not what you're dating, right? Most of us are not going to try to date multiple women at once. But if you get to a level of success, then you might start throwing that into your conversations, because now you feel like you have the leverage and the ability to be able to do it. So I can see how the money itself or success itself would alter what type of person you are. I don't know if you're really that, because are you really that? If you never had the opportunity and it never was part of your flow, like you never thought to do that until you reach the success.
And you don't meet the people, like again, the people you're around. Like, hey, Trev, you know what? Have you ever tried, a person? Like, it's proximity. It's, again, you get around people that have, we'll say more sophisticated taste than what you're used to, and they tend to expose you to those things. Let's look at an average nigga. He hang out with his rich friends. That night, the quality of women he's going to see is not what his usual experience. So that might motivate him to go get some money now because he wants to be around a bunch of baddies.
Damn. What happened, Pearl? What was you thinking?
I just feel sorry for people who just are so susceptible to peer pressure and just, I gotta go out and have this and that to get access to trash bags, like plastic bags. Like, what are we talking about here? But hey, y'all got it. I don't see the purpose in doing that. If you're solid, you're gonna be solid, regardless of if you're broke or you're rich. What are we talking about? That's what makes you unsolid. If the money changes you, just like with a woman, if a woman completely is truly in love with you, it doesn't matter the amount of money you have. If her attraction, admiration, and love for you rises with your amount of money, then I mean she's a cute prostitute. I don't understand. She's exchanging herself with your value. So if you didn't have any money, it would be less than. Again, she's not solid. So it's the same thing with me and women. This isn't a gender specific thing. This is a human thing. Either you're solid or you're not. Don't matter what your resources are, who's around, you're not going to change. You're not going to switch up. Now I understand us going around other people who are in what we would consider a more elevated situation in terms of materialism, and they may help you to acquire certain tastes and things like that. But I can be around a bunch of crackheads. That ain't gonna make me want to smoke the pipe. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I can be around whoever I want to be around and take in whatever experiences that I want to. You either solid or you're not. I land.
That's like we saying we take somebody to a Michelin star restaurant, and then because they don't necessarily eat it regularly, they're gonna ask for chicken wings and chicken tenders. That's not typically what happens.
That's not what I'm saying. I just said you can open my eyes up to a widened experience, and that's great. That's awesome. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to change who I am as you expose me to this lifestyle. Like when you mentioned about the women, like, man, I'm about to go out and stress myself out to get all this money to acquire these women that you expose me to, which we all know ain't shit but cute prostitutes. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm still going to be my solid self and continue on my journey. Thanks for showing me and opening my eyes up to these type of women and let me know they don't change regardless of my money range. But thank you.
Well, who said
I ain't gonna act strange. Thank you. I appreciate the invitation to the situation. But y'all can go on with the conversation. I land.
I don't think nobody who said they was gonna have somebody go stress themselves out to go make some money. That's not what we'll say.
Obviously, if he doesn't have the money, right, and you are at a higher financial position, he has to work harder to get that money. If he didn't, he would already have the money. So obviously he's not in that position. So if it was available to him to have those streams of income, again, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So at some point there would be some stress, there would be some worry, there would be concern because he has to elevate himself to a position that he may not even have the resources acquired to do. So I land.
No, that's just effort. That's not stress.
Okay, Willie.
If I
it's effort. I get it.
And make more money than me, and you inspire me to make more money.
I can see.
Like the fuck, what are we talking about? Like,
I got you. I can see you got it. Let's go on. I got you.